Hey Panthers! Now that your favorite anchors are back, we would like to welcome all of you back to the second half of your 2021-2022 school year. And in this show, we'll be looking at the rapid growth of the town of Brookwood.
We meet another new teacher at BHS.
And we get the latest in the world of Panther sports.
And much more.
I'm Austin.
And I'm Dylan. And this is your Panther Talk.
Welcome back, Panthers, to another episode of Your Panther Talk.
As you guys know, there were many new teachers at the start of the year.
Y'all may have noticed a new coach on the sidelines at our football games, or you may see him on the baseball field come this spring.
Let's go to Claire Sanders to get more information on Coach Hamner.
After quarantine and a year of half-empty classrooms, students returned to find new teachers in Brookwood's halls this year. Jacob Hamner, one of these new teachers, has already made a name for himself in the school as a coach.
It took me about 4 years to become a teacher after I became a coach. When I was 19, I got hired as a volunteer assistant hitting coach at Auburn High School. So it took me about 4 years to become a teacher after that. Coach Bramlett approached me sometime late last spring about coming over here and helping coach football and baseball. And so that was really the main thing that brought me over here, was the football and baseball program. Sports has been everything that I've ever known, really. I started playing baseball when I was 4 years old. Grew up at a country club playing golf, played football and basketball pretty much all my life, so sports is pretty much all that I've ever known. I would say that I don't have there's not a difference of what my expectations are for my students and athletes. It's pretty much the same. I expect, greatness in everything that we do in the classroom and really on the field. So as long as I get the effort that I'm expecting in the classroom and on the field, then I'm going to be pretty satisfied.
But sports isn't the only thing that's played a major role in Coach Hamner's life. Students may have heard rumors around the school about his involvement in a band.
Yeah, so my freshman year of college, I started a fraternity, it's ATO, and so me and four of my fraternity brothers kind of figured out that we all were musically inclined. I'm a singer, the other four in the band are a bass player, 2 guitars, and a drummer. And so we kind of just put it together last second at the end of our junior year so that we could play some music when we're going into our senior year. And we've kind of just been doing that ever since.
Nothing ever goes as his plan. And I caught a feeling I wasn't feeling, so I packed my bags and I ran. It's okay if you don't understand. I'd hate to go, but
music's a lot like sports for me, where I've been doing it my whole life, really. I can't really think of a time where I wasn't singing outside of work. But now I've been singing since about when I was 4 years old, when I figured out that I could sing. Grew up singing in the church, sang in the school choir all the way through middle school. Didn't do it my freshman and sophomore year because I was doing too many sports. But then my junior and senior year I got back into it, and then did it for 2 more years at Auburn, and then got into a band. So I've really been doing it my whole life.
Personally, I'm a fan, and I hope he continues to pursue his interests inside and outside of coaching. I'm Claire Sanders, back to you in the studio.
If any student would like to purchase a Beauty Walk video, please see Miss Day in room C106. The cost is $25. Any student interested in playing football needs to come by the weight room and pick up information from last week's parent meeting. Football workouts for players that are not currently in the weight room during the day will begin Tuesday, February 1st, after school, from 3:15 to 4:15. These workouts will be held each Tuesday and Thursday afternoon.
Brookwood students are getting more opportunities to be leaders in our school. One example is when students planned and hosted a fall festival for our pre-K program. Here's Mallory Savage with more on the story.
Each month, our Green Team tries to think of different service projects to help our community in addition to the weekly recycling efforts. Students got together and brainstormed ideas about how they can contribute to our school this fall in a positive way. They decided to host a fall festival for Brookwood's pre-K students. Green Team sponsor Jennifer Reynolds said that the students would benefit from the festival in several ways.
The pre-K kids will benefit from the Fall Festival because it will stimulate them mentally. There's an obstacle course, so they'll be physically engaged. And then the high school kids will benefit because, again, they were the creative ones that came up with these activities. They're going to get to interact with the kids.
Once the idea became public, other school organizations wanted to join in and sponsor the festival and create stations for the kids.
The football team's doing a football toss. The art class is making a craft. There's a group that's doing face painting. There's a group that they get to make like ice cream sandwiches and eat them. There's, my personal favorite is like the Go Fish one, you know, and it brings back a prize. Yeah.
Overall, students said they enjoyed planning the event, running the games, and most of all, spending time with the Little Panthers. I'm Mallory Savage, back to you in the studio.
Our progressive Brookwood has had many obstacles as a community, but most of all, we have grown together. Next up, we'll go to Thatcher Rotenberry for more on the story.
Brookwood has grown a lot recently. In the past 3 years alone, we've seen the addition of 2 new local businesses, a Family Dollar Dollar Tree hybrid store, and a Jack's. But it's important to recognize why Brookwood is growing, and what about the marketplace allows for such growth.
I spent a couple of months just driving around, seeing what it was like. I was like, cute community. So I said, nice opportunity. It's got a couple of great restaurants in town already. I said, so what can we do to complement that? So we opened up the Meeting House Pizza Cafe.
While George may be new in town, he still recognizes the importance of contributing to the community.
Everybody here that we have is from Brookwood. We think it's important to hire from within the community.
Aside from new businesses, Brookwood also has a large potential population growth in the coming future.
The next 5 years, we will have an expanded growth of residential dwellings, such as the new subdivision that's coming available, with an estimated 175 homes, rooftops in the area, which would be a huge impact for our area in order to recruit new businesses, new industry, allow our school to grow. So there's a lot of potential when you bring in families. Families mean a larger population, and population means great growth.
While these businesses have provided a lot for the community, none of it would have been possible had Brookwood not been able to charm their way into new business owners' hearts.
The community is just really, really sweet and welcoming. I mean, with this voice, I'm from New York, and here I am in Brookwood, Alabama.
Until next time, I'm Thatcher Rotenberry signing off. Back to you in the studio.
There's one last call for Diamond Dolls. If you're interested in becoming a Diamond Doll, today is the last day to sign up. Please see Miss Chastain to pay your $25 dues. As we approach the home stretch of our basketball and wrestling team seasons, it's time to take a look at their recent performances. Let's go to Dylan Hoytich and Jackson Colson with the news.
Welcome back, Panthers. My name is Dylan.
And I'm Jackson.
And this is your Panther Sports.
Let's speed right into it with track. The track and field team competed in the Icebreaker Invitational on January 8th.
Starting off with the 60-meter and beginning with the girls, Alora Hoover ran it in 9.46 seconds, and Jasmine Dunn ever so slightly behind with a 9.47 second run.
The guys had Jace Orr compete, in which he ran it in 8 seconds. TJ Ogletree ran at 8.4 seconds, and Christian Massengale ran at 8.9 seconds.
For the 800-meter, Dan Miller ran it in 2 minutes and 37 seconds, and Luke Miller ran it in 2 minutes and 45 seconds. Dan Miller also competed in the mile run, in which he ran it in 5 minutes and 50 seconds.
Lastly, a shot put. Brooks Bentley set a season record by throwing 34 feet and 7 inches.
And Jasmine Dunn threw for 19 feet and 7 inches. Speaking of shot put, I had no idea how much technique goes into the sport.
It's a bit of work. Talon Ballinger will tell us all about how important technique is and how his feelings on the track season is so far.
Whenever I start to get in my own head about form, I think I go back to the basics, planting my feet, driving my hips, and if you just refer to the basics when you're throwing, it helps you get a lot more power behind the ball. Well, whenever I was so intimidated when I first started, because I had no clue what I was doing. I didn't know anything about it. The ball seems so heavy, and it's just taking baby steps. We started with a softball, just getting the muscle memory, and so I think I've grown a lot. My PR last year, it's grown to over 10 feet, so I'm really happy. Hopefully, I'll get to state in the next 2 years.
Passing the rock to basketball, the boys basketball team traveled to Gardendale on December 21st.
Although the game was a shootout and Brookwood scored 78 points, they just could not match Gardendale's score of 100.
After that loss, the Panthers bounced back and got a win versus Oakman, 71-58.
On December 30th, Brookwood played Pelham in a tough battle, but unfortunately lost 60-36.
Brookwood then battled on January 6th in a nail-biter versus Paul Bryant that unfortunately ended in a loss for your Panthers, 52-47.
And finally, on January 11th, Brookwood went down to Northridge and came up just short, losing 57-36.
The guys currently stand at 6-14.
Moving on to our girls basketball team, the girls started off with a great win versus West Blockton.
After the win, the girls hit a speed bump, losing against Paul Bryant 60-28.
They then faced off against Northridge on January 11th, where the girls suffered a hard-fought loss with a final score of 63-24.
The girls currently stand at 5-11. Here's to hoping both of our basketball teams can end on a strong finish. Let's take it down to wrestling, where we can report that the team is doing fantastic.
This year's wrestling team has had 13 athletes over .500 win rates.
That's right. Some of those wrestlers being Landon Harville with a record of 11-3, Cody Martin with a record of 20-8, and Spencer Cooper with a record of 17-10.
The girls have done well also. Molly Eaton, Patience Ransom, Haley Pate, Devin Morrison, and Maddie McCraw all have records over .500. Moving on to world sports, the college basketball season has been going into full force.
That's right. A huge upset happened on January 8th as the unranked Miami defeated number 2 Duke.
That game was pretty cool, but I thought the heavyweight matchup between number 1 Baylor taking on number 8 Iowa State was pretty cool. The game ended with a score of 77-72 in Baylor's favor. Here's a list of the current rankings of the college basketball season. Next up is every Alabama fan's favorite holiday, the national championship.
Hey, I see what you did there. But you're right. On January 10th, the Alabama Crimson Tide faced off against the Georgia Bulldogs in the national championship.
The game was a close defensive battle that came all the way down to the fourth quarter, where Bryce Young threw a pick six that would end Alabama's chances of coming back and winning the game.
The score was 33-18. Congrats to Georgia, and we'll see if Alabama can bounce back off this loss.
I bet you they will. They always do it. The NFL playoff spots have been set in stone after a phenomenal ending to a 2021 season.
And you know, out of all the teams that I see, I see the Bengals and Packers making the Super Bowl.
I have to slightly disagree because I see Rams and Bengals in the Super Bowl.
I mean, one thing is agreed upon between us. Joe Burrow is the guy to watch out for in the playoffs.
That is right.
Until then, though, I'm Dylan.
And I'm Jackson.
And this was your Panther Sports.
Congratulations to the varsity boys basketball team for placing second in the Panther Holiday Jam.
And congratulations to Brookwood's very own Garrick Donaldson for being named All-Tournament.
You know, some of my favorite moments in high school came from my elective classes.
Yeah, I agree. This year's football season gave me some great memories.
I wonder if elective classes or extracurricular activities have anything to do with how much I enjoy high school?
Maybe Christian knows more on the subject.
There's been speculation about why some students enjoy school more than others for years. To further understand what makes students enjoy school, we looked at things like grade level, extracurricular activities, and electives. For instance, did you know that electives that are more socially involved tend to be more popular than electives that are similar to core classes? Some of these examples include mass media, musical theater, and ROTC. This isn't to say that classes that aren't heavily social-based can't be enjoyed, as multiple students who take classes like health, Spanish, and career prep say they enjoy the classes but still tend to have a lower overall student approval rating. Extracurricular activities that are more physically involved like football, track, and soccer tend to make students enjoy school more. It's not just electives and extracurricular activities that affect student enjoyment. Grade level also has an effect. Freshmen and sophomores tend to focus more on getting required classes out of the way so they can do electives that they are interested in. Despite this, they tend to enjoy school more because of their hopeful mentality about the future. However, upperclassmen tend to enjoy school more when they are taking socially involved electives, suggesting that not taking core-like class electives as freshmen limit their enjoyment of school. It seems that if the school wants to bolster student investment in their education, then the administration should put a focus on socially involved electives such as ROTC, mass media, and musical theater. Until next time, I'm Christian Massengill. Back to you in the studio.
I can't wait to get the second half of this year started.
That's right. We have new faces and big things coming to Panther Talk.
Until then, I'm Austin.
And I'm Dylan. And this was your Panther Talk.
Stick around after the credits for the blooper reel.
Redo it. I need water, but it's okay. Here, yep.
Let's go back.
Okay.
Electives and extracurricular activities that affect grade.
Let's go.
Hang on, my hair's in the way.
Patience Ransom, Haley Pate, Devin Morrison, and Maddie McCraw all have records over .500.
You got Haley Pate the first time!
No! I was so nice.
Let's go!
You gotta scroll up.
You're still laughing at Duke?
Scroll up to like all the way. We gotta get this in one take, so scroll up a bit.
No shot, you just laughed at Duke again.
Moving on to world sports, the college basketball season has been going into full force.
I don't know why I can't stop laughing, dude.
Moving on to world sports, the college basketball season has been going in full force.
That's right, a huge upset happened on January 8th as the unranked
Why? Come on, we gotta get this.
God dang it, dude.
Basketball season has been going full force.
That's right, a huge upset happened on January 8th as the unranked Miami defeated number 2 Duke.
No!
Can we
Actually, no, I got an idea. Let's swap lines.
You want to do that?
We'll swap lines because I'm not going to laugh at Duke. That game was pretty cool, but I thought the heavyweight matchup between number 1 Baylor taking on number 8 Iowa State was pretty cool. The game ended with a score of 77-70. How does this school differ from other schools?
We're simply better.
Not.
Put it in! Put it in!
What does that mean?
You folded.
What does that mean?
You've given up.
I don't give up.
You gonna race?
No.
What if
I
we
just don't want to race. I just don't give up.
Just cuts to a race.
Can y'all hear me with this thing?
Yeah, probably. We'll see later.